Okay, my brother. Let's see if we can hear each other.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. Yes, sir. Let's see if we can hear each other in here. Go. Testing
Uh,
1 2 1 2.
all right. So, what is it that you want people to hear and know about Decevio?
Man, first of all, brother, we on here giving God the glory and praise and honor. I gotta say that, brother, because God is so good, man. Very humble about that, my brother. And this brother allowed me to be myself. So that's what's up. All right, my brother. First thing I want to do is thank you, brother, once again. Give me the opportunity and the platform, my brother, again, as I give God the glory and praise. But I want to thank you as well, my brother, for giving me the opportunity, help me get my voice heard out here, and all the people who listen, the audience, everything. Last but not least, these here, these are my puppies here, right here. We got on display and everything and market out there in the world for people to go get. These are my shoes called the True Pharaoh. Okay, you can get it up on my website. You download my website, Decevio slash wwax.com, and you can find them there, or you can just hit me directly on the spot, and you can find them. I mean, through your Cash App or anything that you can send directly to me. I can give you a pair. It has all sizes for women and men. You know what I mean? So we definitely want to get this out there. These are right here, the Decevio. And this is my logo right here. If we can get closer to the camera right here, that's actually my face on a True Pharaoh. And like I said, the name of these brands are called the True Pharaohs, you know what I'm saying? And this is the Decivios, you know what I'm saying? But they own display. If you, people out there that want to get them, hit me up, you know what I'm saying? You get yourself a pair. They all the way turned, my brother. For sure. Okay,
Okay.
let's get it in. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So
Yes, sir.
what are these things that you want to say to get your voice out for people to know? What do you want people to know?
Yeah, well, like I said, we got the shoes. I also right here want to tell people I got my merchandise. I want people to go out get same website, Decevio slash wwick.com. And you can see right here, we got t-shirts and stuff. We got for men and women, kids too, all sizes. Hit me up. And we want to try to get it all out there. You can just be fresh, get swag nice like your boy Decevio. And that's one of the things. The next thing we got going on, my brother, is great music. I stay on the music. We got a lot of things coming up. Like I said, Mother Day is coming up. And I'm looking forward to dropping this new Mother Day song that I got coming up. It's going to be turned up. It's living. It's a story of my life. I remember the old school Tupac Shakur, and he made a song about his own mother and stuff like that. So I felt like this day and age, the Decevio going to make a story about my life, my story of my mother, my grandmother, great heroes that raised me, strong black queens that raised his brother to be the strong man he is. Giving shout out to all the mothers, all races, all background that just gave us the mother life, but the mother Isis and the birth of life for our goddesses. So yes, I want to be able to let people know that this is coming out soon, near Mother's Day. Matter of fact, it's going to drop on Mother's Day. It's called Lord's Eyes. And I guarantee people going to like. I already shot a music video for it. If y'all want to go see it, it's out there on YouTube, all platforms. The video was turned. And I hope y'all enjoy it and love it. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. It's just a Decevio thing, my God. Yes,
So
sir.
what kind of music is it that you make? What
Hip
genre
hop.
is music
Definitely,
located?
definitely hip hop, but I have my own type of sound. Like I definitely got a new sound that I'm trying to bring into the masses. It's called crump pop music and hypnodelic music. And basically, what it is, crump pop is basically rebellious music. It's radical music. I call it woke music, Cali woke music. Same thing with hypnodelic. Hypnodelic is almost like shroom music. It's like people getting high off something different, but even like a spiritual high, like it's on high frequency level energy high. It's real turnt, man, and it's different. It's original. So these are kind of label titles that I give out to the world for my own particular sound. which is crump pop and hypnodelic. So my music and sound is very original, very different. A lot of people always tell me that. They say, man, Decevio, your music is different. It's not what I'm used to, but it's exactly what it is. I'm not a swag napper. I'm not a biter. Like I don't go around biting people's style to sound like these brothers out there. I just originate my style. I've been doing this since I was young to come on my own particular formula that works just for me and not everybody else. Either you're gonna like it or you're not. It's just that simple. So yes, that's the name of the game.
So how long have you been in the music industry?
I've been in it. My father, as I mentioned, if you anybody out there can check out my bio, my father, as I mentioned, and my grandfather is both in the industry. My father is a jazz artist. He used to work at A&R, not A&R, A&M Records with what's my dude, Babyface and all these kings. You know, they used to work. This is like before they started their own label, like LaFace and all that. This is like back in '80s, late '70s, or mid '80s and stuff when they was in a group, The Deal and stuff like that. My dad was right there, A&R Records. He used to tell me, I mean A&M Records. He used to tell me that he used to see Jackson 5. Matter of fact, Jackson 5 used to go to the same high school he went to. I think it was like what high school my dad went to, man. He told me 100 times, man. I want to say LA High, or it might have been it wasn't LA High. It's man, when I get a chance to talk to him or get a chance to holler, I'm gonna let him, Dad, what was the high school you went to? But he always told me a million times, man. But being young as I am, I was like one ear out the other. All right, Dad, whatever. But anyway, he went to school with the Jackson 5. Michael wasn't there though. He was telling me Michael, but he was there with Jermaine. What's the other five? You know, Tito, like all those kings. You know, he was all with them and stuff, and they all went to school together. But he used to tell me stories like about A&M Records and stuff. How he used to see Phil Collins. He said that he used to see this brother come up there. He was the one that introduced me to Billy D. Williams' son, not my dad, but my dad's youngest cousin, which is my cousin. He introduced me to Billy D. Williams' son, which his son name is Corey Williams. Okay, people don't know this and stuff. Billy D. Williams got an older son named Corey Williams. I met this brother. My dad, this is the funny thing is I remember telling my dad about this story, but my dad later on, he telling me, man, he said, I was the one that introduced dude to my cousin, to Corey. Oh, everything I love, man. I go to the studio with my cousin, and I'm young at the time. I probably like in junior high and stuff. And as he took me there to the studio, I never forget, he had the studio inside his apartment. This dude was living in an apartment somewhere in Hollywood. I don't know exactly where. I was young there, but I never forget. He took me to the apartment. He had the studio set up like someone in his living room, but slash like sort of kitchen area. And I never forget, my cousin went there, laid a song, but I never forget. This blew my mind. My cousin paid the dude like $500 for one song. And it blew my mind. And I was like watching the whole thing. And I was just like, and I remember leaving with him. And I asked my cousin, I said, man, you paid him $500, man, for one song? He was like, yeah, man, you know, you got to do that. That's studio work. That's the first time I ever experienced being inside the studio. And it blew my mind how much it cost. But I remember saying to myself, man, homie, on God, like when I get my own studio, it ain't going to be like that. You know, it's going to be different, you know, which it was. It was like that. I really didn't grow up to be, you know, putting that kind of money behind nobody's studio except my own. So,
Well,
yeah.
that's
So
interesting.
that's
So
how I go.
how
I'm
many
sorry, sir.
how many people were did you get the opportunity to meet that was in the industry?
I met a lot of people in the street, especially hip hop. But growing up, like my dad, like I said, I used to, when I was real young, my dad used to rehearse and do rehearsals. And I had a uncle, which is my dad's brother, used to have a business. He used to have like a clothing shop. And in his clothing shop, he used to have these mirrors, right? And if you go, one of the mirrors is long, they like big wall mirrors. But believe it or not, if you push the mirror through, it's a room in the back of the mirror. So my dad used to do rehearsals back there, and he used to rent studio rehearsals. So my dad used, when I was a little boy, he used to take me to the studios, and I used to see this dude get off and things like that. And this is how I knew I picked up music, because I was in the background playing the congos. It's going off on just ripping the congos up. And my dad be like, "Hey man, where's this other sound coming from?" You know, right in the middle. So he come, coming yelling, "Hey man, don't be doing that while we rehearsing." Blah blah blah. But he knew his son had something, and that's how it went. But in the industry, man, my father met his generation, but me growing in my generation, I met a few hip hop kings. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it came about, my brother. So yes, sir.
Oh wow! And
Yeah.
so with your YouTube channel that you have where you're putting your stuff out, um, how is your subscribers going as far as that goes? Is that building?
Okay, I'm sorry, man. I didn't hear the last thing you said. What was it?
I said, as far as your YouTube channel with your subscribers and your and the people that are following you, is it growing?
Yeah, it grows every day, every single day. I got over 10,000 subscribers.
Oh
Yeah,
wow!
over 10,000 subscribers, man. I'm happy about that. God is good, man. I'm very humble about that. And
Yes.
it took a lot of work to sacrifice just to keep being consistent on putting my face in people's faces and stuff, especially the music. So like that's one thing. And every day it's growing. I'm always consistent. I'm always putting out stuff on the daily. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? That's one of the reasons why even with this situation and stuff, my audience is ready for new things. 'Cause I'm always surprised at people. That's how I operate. I operate prior before me acting on it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not the type of dude that's like talk about what I do and just do it. I just like to do it. You know what I mean? And my audience is surprised like that. Man, the Bible is one of the things I've read upon growing up, being like almost as if I was a theologian. And I never forget what the scripture said. It said, "Never let your left hand know what your right hand's doing." Let me tell you something, my brother. I never talk about what I do. I just do it. So that's one of the reasons why, even with this interview, what we speaking about, I just want to be able to show my audience, like, hey, look, yo, here it is. The most I do is set a release date, and I'll say, yo, the album or single is going to drop on this date. Get ready, and I do a market plan. I mean, market a promotion, and I do it. Let's say if I drop it on the 11th or something like that, then I would do the marketing promotion all through until that time of the release date to get people ready and prepared to the time the song drops. So that's the most I would do. But in the meantime, people are seeing my face like
Mhm.
all day, every day. I'm just at it, like, yeah, like get ready, get ready, get ready. This is about to drop. And then once it drop, you see the streams and the people get involved and people who love. Even if it doesn't, like I said, I'm not in it for that. Like my whole thing is like I'm doing something I love to do. I chose this life at 12 years old. So I take the bad with the good. And I understand that time is always on your side if you trust it. If you trust the trust God's timing and the universe timing, let me tell you something, man, it would never fail you. It would never fail you. So I just trust the universe timing, whether people jumping on it or not. You know what I mean? Because like the kind of sound that I do is something to get used to for those who are not used to it, especially the kind of music that's out there now. You know what I mean? But my music cuts through. It cuts through the wind, it cuts through the trees, it cuts through the bushes to make itself sing. And I'm doing my part, and I know God in the universe doing itself part to making sure that we meet each other's timing. So yeah,
Wow, that's interesting.
thank you.
That that's a good thing, especially keeping your audience notified, of course. And so, how often have you actually had the opportunity uh, to um, to be in front of your fans, to have like a live chat, or just get to know them, or they get to know you moment?
I love how you asked me that. Man, I love these questions, brother. I'm built for this, brother. I don't do lives. I don't do it. Let me tell you why. I never got into this business to make it about Decevio. I got into this business to make it about the music. That's one of the reasons why I don't do stuff like that. A lot of these guys do it for themselves and make it up. Say they interested in these like and views and stuff. Man, when you and I first talked, one of the first things I told you, I said, as long as it's big, as long as I do some type of services, and if I can inspire, that to me is what it's about. I don't care about that stuff like most of these dudes care about. To me, the way I look at it's gonna come, regardless if people like it or not. It's against all odds. You know what I'm
Right.
saying, my God? Like it's against all odds, and because of that, that's how I see it. So I think that I remember Teddy Riley. I saw an interview where he said Teddy Riley's a guy from a band called Guy. I don't know if the audience people don't know about that, but this guy was very talented. He's a group called Guy. He later on became Blackstreet. Very great producer, and I respect this cat. But I never forget he was talking about Michael Jackson. And I never forget, Michael Jackson's one of my heroes in music, him and Prince. I look up to these dudes. They like people I emulate in the sense of like the stage presence and how you project your style and the kind of music you do and honoring the music and the art behind it. These are my heroes in it because they appreciate music. But I never forget what Teddy Riley said. He said Michael Jackson, what he would do with his music, he would let the music be the star, and then he becomes a star behind the music. I said, that's exactly how Decevio Yamiza is going to do it. I let the music be the star, and then I'll be the star. You know what I'm saying? Well, so I never just be in people's faces like, yo, man, look at my video. But man, people out there, man, they don't get it, brother. And I keep it real. They just don't. Like they only get it when other people feel as if they be live vicariously through other people to feel as if they can get it through other people. I don't live like that. I'm too much of a leader. I'm a critical thinker. I'm an independent thinker. I think I'm on myself. I'm not the type of dude that like live through other people. You know what I mean? I speak for myself and I think for myself. Other people have to do that for other people. So in order for me to feel validated for anybody, they have to feel like anybody else out there that they respect enough to say, hey, listen to Decevio's music well enough to get their respect enough to say, okay, I'll go listen to it. It's like a good example, like the popular people that's out there. Let me give you this, like Beyonce. Like if Beyonce said, hey, go listen to Decevio's music, millions of people will start running to go listen to me because she said it was okay to listen to it. People don't think for themselves to say, you know what? I want to listen to this Decevio guy on my own and being a critical thinker amongst themselves. So that's the big difference. So like, I don't make it about me. I just make it about the music. And that's the name of the game and how I approach music
Well,
and my audience and people who follow.
I think that approach is very wonderful because it sounds like it's very organic.
Absolutely.
And so,
Absolutely.
with that being said, I mean, like, uh, how do you actually build, with that approach? How are you actually building to get the subscribers that you have, and also building your brand the way you're building it? How does that go?
Like I said, with the consistency, I'm consistent with it. I mean, I'm always putting out stuff. If you go see my lines, man, I'm dropping stuff every other day. I got a magazine that I'm going to be in the front cover of. First of all, I give God the glory and praise and all the thanks. It's dropping this week. And I got the cover of it. You know, when people voice something to the universe, man, that stuff works, my brother. Let me tell you something. I remember speaking this like a couple of years back, and I was saying, man, I would love to be in front of a cover of a magazine. But you know what? Next thing you know, people hit me up, talk about you got the cover. So I'm getting ready to be on Dope Weekly magazine, coming as a hip hop magazine, it's an independent hip hop magazine, and it's pretty popular out here in California. It's a West Coast magazine. It's known for internet and also independent artists such as myself, and I made the cover. The blessing part about it is stuff it drops this week. So stuff like that is how I inform people, but I don't inform them, but just might be bragging or telling it. I just surprise people with it. So a lot of people know that I got these sort of things coming up. But answering your question, it has a lot to do with the consistency, my brother. Like I stay in people's face. I don't sleep. A lot of people say, Decevio, man, you seem like you never sleep. You motherfucking right. I don't sleep. I'm always, you know what I'm saying? I'm always like staying up, grinding, waking up to music, going to sleep to music, and create music. I mean, I got one of my songs called Thanks the Whites playing in the background. It's a hot jam. It's a new song that I recorded, and I'm putting these songs out back to back. So, like I said, I got the Mother's Day thing coming up right after the me being in front of the magazine, and not to mention this interview situation we're doing too. So I'm dropping stuff back to back to show people, like, man, you see my consistency, you see how hard I work. So yeah, and that work ethic comes from my family. It comes from my mother's side of the family. My father's side is all musicians. My mother's side of the family was all workers, like people that hands-on work, own businesses and companies and stuff. My great grandfather had apartment buildings all through South Central LA, where I'm from. He had apartment buildings and stuff. And my grandfather, which is my mom's dad, he had real estate. He had homes that he owned and shit, and they all passed away. Left shit to a lot of my mother and my little cousin and all them. But that's what's up. It's all good. But at the same time, I had the work ethic. My mother used to put me in jobs at 12 years old. So I was working at jobs all the way till I was like 19, 20 years old when I decided to do music for a personal living, which my mother didn't agree with, but still yet I picked that work ethic up because my mother and my grandfather, the one that had real estate, used to take me with him when I was a little boy to go rake backyards and front yards of these homes that he used to own and stuff. You know what I mean? Because he was a caretaker of these homes, and he had me out there. I'm like probably like 9, 8, 7 years old raking yards. I couldn't even play with the little kids in LA, growing up in LA and stuff with the knucklehead dudes, the boys in the hood, and I couldn't run with them because I'm raking the yard with my grandfather. But that taught me discipline. You see what I'm saying, my guy? So like because of that, they allow me to teach me this discipline and this hard work. That's why I stay as consistent as I do.
Well, that's a good thing. I mean, so if your ethics are in that way where you just know that you gotta put in the work, then that shows that that's where your reward is always coming in the end.
Absolutely, I agree. You know what I mean? But if God is before me, who can be against me? You
Mhm.
feel me, my brother? So you know what I'm saying? I just know and that this is meant for me. And I'm going hard. I'm doing my part. And the world gonna make way. Once they get a touch of the voice of Decevio, they gonna feel my wrath because I sacrificed a lot. I've been through a lot of hell to get to where I'm at. I had too much to prove, not only to the world, but myself. Because I had so many and anybody that was against me telling me shit like that I wasn't gonna make it in this shit. That oh, you're not gonna make it. They even still believe this to this day. Like this
Oh
dude's
wow.
still doing this shit. Like he's still doing it. Like this nigga, he wasted his time. Like he just bullshit. Like he just like you need to be just doing what I do. I had to cut ties with people. I had to cut people out of my life. I had to alienate people that I felt like that didn't agree on what I do and love. So because of that, even with amongst family people, but now I consider that personally a good thing because it helped me stay focused and it helped me grind even harder. So it was just so much that I have to prove amongst even myself.
So would you say that the majority of the success that you have, did that you think that that came from what your family instilled in you?
I say that 100%, especially my father's side, because you know what I'm saying. My father is a jazz artist and my grandfather's a blues artist, and they instilled that kind of genetically music thing in me. So I already knew exactly what I do. But as far as a work ethic, that's on my mom's side of the family. So I owe them for that. I don't owe them literally. I don't owe them a damn thing, but still, yet I feel like they put the seed in me. You know what I mean? They put the seed in me to help me become the greater version of myself, to become that person of myself by working as hard as I do. So I like I said, my mom on my mother's side of the family, I'm humble and grateful to that. So that my mother put me in jobs at 12 years old. I was working right for the moment I got in junior high school and working jobs and shit, And then, like I said, my grandfather had me raking yards when I was in elementary school.
Mm.
So it just paid off in me, because of that. My grandfather served in the Korean War. I mean, this dude was 6'5", big, strong dude. Nobody in LA and South Central wouldn't fuck with this dude. And he was right up in the neighborhood, and everybody just had so much respect for this man. And my uncle, which was my grandfather's son, this dude was damn near the king of LA. He was like one of the big OG dudes and stuff that everybody respect. His nickname, they used to call him Moose. That was Moose and shit. That was his name because this nigga was built like a moose. So this dude, he was built like a moose. So because of that, like you know what I mean. But I was a hothead motherfucker. I used to sit there and get into it with this dude every now and then and shit. Like man, we used to like he didn't. Later on, him and I didn't even click because I was always so rebellious and always talking back. You know what I mean? And that was his problem. Like, man, you just like your dad, man. He was in music. He didn't make it in that shit, and you're not either. Is that
over
right?
on.
Okay, is that right, brother? Okay, well, shit, I show improve, and that's why I go as hard as I do.
Well, you know something. I think when people start doing those kind of things, you know, especially putting the negative connotations into people's minds and so forth, that's a problem.
Absolutely. But that problem can turn to something positive if you look at it in that sort of light and show you that if somebody doubt you, that should push you even harder to be able to prove not only them but your but people wrong about how you what you stand and what you believe in. Because yeah, I remember there's a lot of people if you go online they say the same thing, but I agree that people are not going to see your vision. They're not going to see what you see. They're not going to see what you see out of your own eyes. I saw this dream at 12 years old. So because of that, my mom didn't see this dream. I told mama I quit my job. I worked as a janitor for 3 years of my life. And I quit the job. And my mother damn near went ape shit. And she did that because, yeah, it's a big fact. You think you would start World War III with this woman? This lady was screaming out her damn lungs like, "You did what?" You know what I mean? And I was like, "Yeah, I decided to do music." And that's where it started with my life and career. From that point on, when my mother saw things they didn't see what I saw. All my mother saw was my father, but my mother and my father never worked out. They never married amongst each other. They just had they were teenagers and had kids being teenagers, being very young as they were. My
Yeah.
sister and I. So like because of that, they my mother just all she saw was my father. So in her eyes, bless her soul, bless her heart, she just didn't get it. She didn't understand. She didn't understand her own son and her vision. All she just thought that my father was so much in me that she didn't think that I was going to succeed or make it in this sort of thing. So that's why I remember I never forget her biggest thing was she used to tell me at the moment of her putting me out on the damn streets. I never forget. She used to always say, "It's too much competition in that." Was too much competition. But I remember thinking to myself, like, shit, man, it's competition in everything you fucking do. It ain't just competition in music. If I went for a job at McDonald's in this motherfucker, you don't think I'm the only one that they gonna be hiring? You know what I'm saying? They got about 80 other motherfuckers and shit that try to get the same damn job. So it's just like I never understood that. You know what I mean? I never understood why would she tell me something like that. But my mother, like I said, bless her soul, she just wanted the best for her son. She wanted her son to make something out of stuff. She just didn't see what I saw. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's what's up. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
you know, that's actually a normal thing, though,
right.
because you know when you know parents sometimes don't see the vision, especially when you're the younger child, and you know things of that nature, and it's like you know they always wonder about decision making. So that was just a natural action that she had, even though I'm sure now she's very, very proud of you.
Yeah, I wouldn't know, man. I don't like to throw my mother on the bus, man. Like my mother is set in her own ways. And you know, it is what it is. I mean, that's so much I say about this woman. I'm not going to sit there and throw her in the bus and feel like I, have a reason. But she's a woman that's set in her ways, and it is what it is. It's just like I'm doing me, she does her, and that's what's up. But to answer that other thing you would say, I'm actually the oldest out of all my family members. I was the oldest and stuff. So I think that my mother thought that I could say an example. I mean, my mother was the type to play the safe card. The safe card meaning like, like, hey man, get a job. Where it didn't matter what kind of job it was, as long as it was a job. And as long as you can be stable with that sort of particular job, she's good with that. It wasn't about the education. It was not about knowledge of self or any of that. It was just more like, hey man, as long as you got a job, hey, we good. But she didn't see, like I said, my brother, she didn't see what I saw. I saw something bigger, and I pursued it.
Mhm. Well, you know, the good thing about it is, you know, when it's your dream, you know, that's where you are, and that's
Right.
always going to happen.
Yeah,
So, I mean, you can only expect the best from that.
absolutely. And I just like I said in the beginning of us talking, I give God the glory and praise and honor and thanks, and I pat my own self on my own back, and proud of that childhood dude at 12 years old. The fact that he stuck to it. He stayed dedicated to it all these years of putting in the work and putting the sacrifices and stuff, that little child of the younger Decevio, I would say, yeah, man, I'm sure that he's proud, like looking up to this grown man Decevio, like, man, you know what? I'm proud of you because you stay stuck to it. You stay committed. You stay dedicated to not only the craft, but what you love and do.
Mhm.
And I didn't allow nothing outside of that to break me. As hard as life and everything, challenges that came my way that try its best to break me, I still stand strong. I still stand tall, and I stand disciplined. So like I didn't let the pressure of what life threw me break me to a point where I just like I quit or settle for mediocrity.
Right.
So yeah, yes sir. So
Well, I don't think you ever want to settle for mediocrity. But I do think, sometimes, with the learning curve is always different for each and every individual. So, that kind of like comes into play as well because, the cause and effects are always things to think about.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cause and effect. Yeah. Like I said, like everything happens for a reason. I believe that it served a purpose in my life, even at that time when my mom and my family disowned me like the way they did. And you know what I mean? And I don't hope, yeah, they disowned me. My whole entire family, they disowned me, man, with this music. Like I told my mom when I wanted to do music, and she told my whole family, man, oh, don't mess with him. But I don't hold her against that. Like I said, I don't hold her against it, even my family. I forgive them. I actually forgive them. I even told them that. Like I let them know, like I don't hold that against you. But you can love somebody, but you can actually love them from a distance, and that's how I have that kind of relationship. But beyond that point, you're right. Everything does happen for a reason. It's a purpose behind the cause and effect of all reasons behind that cause and effect of why situation, even my life happened the way it do.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm humbled by that. I came from a humble beginning, and I'm grateful. I'm just grateful that everything happens for its own reason. So yeah.
So what was that like when you felt like they disowned you?
I lived in my car. I lived homeless. I lived homeless for 2 years of my life. Yes, and I felt at the time I was hurt. I was devastated. This is my family. My family disowned their own, like their own, my own son, boyfriend. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, just because I wanted to do music. Like it's not like I shot up the neighborhood and robbed folks and knocking fools over and shit just to get what I want and being this like misunderstood kid where it kept bringing trouble to my mom. I was just a humble dude that wanted to do music. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? And I just didn't get it. So I was very hurt. Not to a point that I wanted to hurt them. I just was hurt in life. But the wisest thing that I ever did, and I would tell anybody to do this, is to get God in your life because God saved my life. He taught me what purpose was, what I didn't understand at the time. It was bigger than me at that time that I didn't know about. I didn't understand why my mother would do that to her own child. But yet, like you said, it's cause and effect. It happened for a reason. You know what I mean? So I lived in my car for like being homeless as I was for 2 years. And then praise God, my grandmother, this is my father's side of the family, which is excuse me, my dad's mother. She took me in. Now, mind you, I never was raised with my dad's side of the family. I used to go see my dad when I was a kid, and that's a whole different type of story. But it was times that I didn't like being around him, and I stayed up under my mom. So when I stayed under my mother, I just stayed on my mother's side of the family all through my childhood, teenage years, and into my younger adult years. I just didn't go around him as much, and I stayed underneath my mother a lot. And because of that, I went to my grandmother, and my sister was. This is the time I'm living homeless, and I ran into my sister on the streets in L.A. And I never forget, my sister was like, "Yeah, our grandma wanted to." And I said, "Grandma," I'm thinking she talking about my grandma on my mom's side of the family, because I knew who she was. I was always around my grandma. So I bless her soul. She was a great soul, great human being. She tried her best to try to sneak me in the house and stuff like that when I was living homeless. But my grandfather was the meanest motherfucker you can ever meet. Remember, I told you this man served in the Korean War. He was a very disciplined military type of man. So when he saw me in his house, he damn near raised hell. And all that, and I'm his grandson, you know what I mean? Now, mind you, me telling you this story, I forgave these men. I mean, my family members. I forgave them. I'm just telling you the story of my experience. I'm not angry at these people. I don't, anything against them. But anyway, as I was saying, my grandfather saw me and he put me out in the streets. And my grandmother, she started crying and was telling me, Decevio, I'm so sorry. I tried my best. I tried my best, you know what I mean, to try to do whatever. My mother and all these people was afraid of this man. My grandfather, remember I told you he was a 6'5" military dude, big ass hands. This dude was like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Like he'll sock a brick if he could too. You know, this dude was very, very, my light didn't went out. Here we go. Let me big it up. But he was very militant like, military like, not militant, but military like. And everybody was scared of this dude, including me. You know, I was scared of him. This big dude. You know what I mean? I was like, I ain't trying to cross with this dude, you know. And at me now, the way I am now, I would stood up to him. But I was young then. I was young dude, growing up in the world, trying to find my way out in the world. So I stayed with my grandmother. She was a good Christian woman, and she believed in giving back. And she took me in her home and showed me the ropes of life within a 6 months period of me staying with her. I lived with this woman 6 months, and I learned from her all the years I stayed with my own mother. This woman taught me how to wash clothes. I remember she used to tell me like that. Like, when I date girls and stuff, they come up, they be like, damn, you clean and stuff. Like, you wash dishes. Yeah, take the trash out. My grandmother taught me this shit. I remember she said, if you want to have a good woman to stay around with you and stuff, learn how to do this shit. So she teach me how to wash. I never washed dishes and all this stuff growing up with my mother. I had sisters for all that. I never washed clothes and all that shit, but my mother and my sister did that. The only thing my mother made me do was mensch type of shit. She made me rake yards and shit. She made me wash walls. She used to make me clean my own room. She used to make me take out the trash. Boys type stuff. You know what I'm talking about? So when I stayed with my grandmother, that was a whole different ballgame. She taught me women type shit. She telling me how to wash clothes, how to fucking wash dishes and stuff like that. My grandma was a hero to me. She was like a great inspiration to me growing up. And the 6 months I stayed with her, she taught me how to be my own man. A woman teaching me how to be my own man to go out in the world and know how to conquer the world. So yeah, all these people that I'm talking about all are deceased right now. May all rest in peace. When I speak highly, I know the universe and the ancestors are listening, so I speak highly about them, like letting them know, like I ain't forgot about you, and I'm humbled by what they did for me in my life.
That's really interesting, and I can't wait to get more of that because I always say behind every great person there's a story, and the story in itself pretty much gives you everything about the character who that person is. I mean, I know that had to be rough, having to survive or put yourself in survival mode in order to make things happen for yourself like that. And so when you think about that, what are some of the things that you look back on that you wish you could have changed?
I wouldn't change a goddamn thing, my brother. I wouldn't change nothing. It ain't nothing I would change, man. I think that everything caused, like you said, cause and effect. It happened for all purpose. Like I wouldn't be half the man I am today if my mother wouldn't put me out in the streets. You get what I'm saying? Like I saw a interview. I think it was an interview or a documentary with Kanye West, right? And I never forget. I was watching this documentary, and he's real close with his mother. And his mother's very, I was looking at that and I was like, wow, look how close his mom is with him. She's very supportive. And I think part of the reason why that man is so confident, he's so confident because he has his mother's support. Like his mother's like, I remember I was watching the documentary and his mother was like, listen to his songs and jamming to it. She said, that's one of your good songs. I was thinking in my head like, wow, that'd be cool to have a mom like that. My mother's nothing like that. She don't even like hip hop music. She don't even like listen to rap music. She like listen to a lot of gospel type music. And I'm not hating on gospel. I love the gospel. It's like good to get praise music and be encouraged and stuff like that. But that's all my mother listens to. She doesn't listen to rap. She doesn't listen to like all these other genre music. Some of the music might get back to her, and she know 'em, and even the names might get, but and then she be flattered or inspired, or not the word inspired, but more flattered by the idea who these artists particularly are. But all my mother basically listens to is the Clark sister, Mael Jackson. Let's go on all the latest what do you call it, gospel artists. But watching that with the Kanye, it was just like, wow, look at this sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like this man has his mother very encouraging him, making him feel good as a man. And I think that's why he is the way he is in terms of the confidence, or even overly confident. But with me, I had the self-confident myself. I didn't get that sort of moral support from nobody except God. And God was the one that gave me the courage and the confidence to say, you know what, Decevio, you're good at what you do. So going back, as I told you about the younger Decevio to where I am now, like I said, it's no regrets. It's no, you know what I mean? It all ties into part of the purpose. And I'm so humbled by that. Like I said, I believe the younger Decevio was like, yo, I'm proud of the older Decevio because he stuck to it. You imagine this, all the hell that I went through, all odds against me that were literally trying to break me to make me quit and give up and settle. But I never did. I was like, hell no, I know what I deserve. And I had so much riding against me, not just my family, but just even proving to myself. So that's part of the name of the game that I look at the younger Decevio and just look back at my years and say that all ties in, like you mentioned, cause and effect, and it was all serves a purpose. So I don't regret a damn thing, my brother.
Do you always think you have to prove something to somebody?
Myself, yeah, myself. That's about it. You know, just prove to myself that I can be the better version of myself, living up to my utmost full potential. You know what I mean? That's what I sacrifice for. That's what I fight for. It's just morally about me being a better version of myself. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? I always project images of what I see myself living by, and I believe it's going to happen. Like I said, it's just up against all odds and all God's timing. So I just trust the universe and I trust God's timing that we all going to meet. It's just like bye bye, and there it is. The sparks and everything would go about, and here it is. You know, I'm living the dream. Everybody's singing my song in the world. Everybody, know who Decevio is. Everybody is listening to my story. And I know these stories that I'm telling you, my brother, it's going to inspire. Because it's not no made up shit. It's just me being real. It's me telling you my true story. You know what I mean? I got
Mhm.
so much to my story. You know what I mean? Growing up in South Central LA, the stories behind that. Growing up in a bad car accident that I was in. I'm talking about one of the worst car accidents to walk out of it. This is when I was 3 or 4 years old. And walking away from that shit when one person lost their leg out of the damn car accident. I mean, all kind of shit. Being stabbed and getting jumped in LA and shit like that. Going to jail, being in jail. All this crazy shit didn't happen to me against all odds. But I still kept my head all strong. Never got swallowed up with the ways of the world. You know what I'm talking about? Not became some alcoholic ass drunk motherfucker or just some, drug addiction type of motherfucker. Just staying sane and staying grounded and staying true to myself. That sort of thing. You know what I mean? I'm humbled by that. And I give God the glory. I mean, he shaped me. He shaped me to be the person I am today. And I just humbled by that, my brother.
Well, you know,
Yes,
I
sir.
think truly, the story is one that's definitely inspiring,
Thank you, sir.
and
Thank you.
that's what you know, when you actually get the opportunity, to make it on the 28th.
Yes.
This story that I really, this is what I need for the people to hear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can't wait, brother. Let me tell you something, man. Since you let me be myself, man, it's over with. You know, I'm so humble that you allowed me to be me. I couldn't do that the first time we talked. I was thinking, man. I mean, I felt like I was a different person. I was telling some of my peeps and stuff, and people around me. I was like, man, that's why I text you. I said, brother, is it okay I be myself? I want to be like this towards the world. Every interview I get, can I be myself? Because if I can express myself the way I can express myself now, you're gonna be just like the way you are like this. Like you're gonna be a student to the energy, brother. You're gonna be like, this motherfucker, like he's an interesting motherfucker. I like the shit he's saying. He's very inspiring. And I'm saying that humbly. You know what I mean? With all humility. But that's what I'm saying. As long as I can be me, brother. Man, I look forward to it, brother. You know, I'm ready to inspire. I'm ready to impact the world. You know, the world needs the Decevio. They need this kind of music. They need this kind of personality. They need this to be able to understand. We lost all the great heroes. We lost all the people that was before us that was saying something. We lost the Tupacs. We lost the Martin Luther Kings. We lost the Malcolm X. We lost the DMX. We lost all these great motherfucking kings that was saying some real shit. But guess what? It ain't too lost when you got your boy Decevio out here saying that same truth. You know what I'm saying? In this day and age, it's
Yes.
always grace beyond grace. I
Right.
always say that. It's always, you know what I'm saying? I always say, even with the Tupac thing, I always say, man, only you would never get another Tupac. I always tell people that, but or even DMX. But what you could do is take the torch that them motherfuckers drop and pick the shit up and do your version of it. You know what I'm saying? And that way people be like, yo, I'm in tune. I want to listen to what this brother got to say. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? So like that's where it's at, my brother. It's like we lost so many kings that stood for so much rhyme and reason, but yet the story continues. You
Right.
see what I'm saying, my brother? The story continues, and now you got your boy for reason with your boy Decevio Yamiza just telling that same exact truth.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Well, definitely. And I definitely appreciate you taking this time for our late night audience to get a load of Mr. Decevio so they can get this preview
Thank you, sir.
because I'm sure that you know you're always you and you always make it do what it do.
Yes, sir.
Um, so that's the thing, and I want to make sure that you keep doing that.
Always, brother. Yeah, you know, staying true to who I am, true to what I do, and true to what I come from. I mean,
Right.
I don't believe, like we were talking before, anything's coincidence. It all
Right.
serves a purpose. Like I said, I had a humble beginning. Humble, man. You know what I mean? My brother, a humble beginning. So because of that, you can't, only sellouts, people sell themselves short or sell their souls, forget about who they are, where they come from. What that did to me, it shaped my integrity. It shows me principle. It showed me integrity as a man, who I am and where I come from. That's what this characterism comes from. It
Hmm.
comes from that humble beginning. So I just can't forget about who I am and where I come from, my brother.
Well, absolutely.
And that's 100.
Well, as long as I know you, I won't let you lose that. I can tell you.
Absolutely, my brother. Absolutely, man. Yes. So I thank you again, giving us this conversation and giving me this platform, my brother. I'm very humbled by that, man. And I'm looking forward for the 28th because I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna murder it. Like I just can't wait for people to listen to the same story, whatever story it is, but it's ready to get told. I don't care
Right.
if I tell you a billion times. The world needs to hear it. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't care if I tell it a billion times, man. The world needs to hear it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We could ask the same question over. I don't care. Reality is that it needs to be heard, and I believe that I'm gonna be the person that tells it. You
Right.
know, so that's what's up.
I definitely believe that. And
Mhm.
also, I am going to I'm going to hit you back with a message or in your messenger, and
Yes, sir.
so I will chat with you here in just a second, and I want to thank you as I close out on this live.
Okay, we all good and recorded here, right? All right, my
Yes.
brother. Blessings. Thank you.
All right.
Talk to you
All
soon.
right.
All right, my brother.
All right.